The wind ruffled his fur as he imagined himself a hero like his father. But being a small mouse, what could he do? Then one night he saw it. 3 sneaky foxes were tiptoeing into the warehouse district, each carrying a sack. They moved like phantoms, disappearing behind crates and leaping over fences. He knew he couldn't handle them alone, so he called his friends. Luna the squirrel, who was so swift she seemed to dance through the trees. Rusty the raccoon, clever as a whip and twice as charming. And Paws the mouse, small but fierce, a warrior with whiskers. They all met in the shadow of a clock tower, and the 4 friends whispered their plan under the glow of the full moon. When the others arrived, they were ready. Luna would distract the foxes with her super speed. Rusty would block their escape routes. Paws would dart in and get the stolen stuff back. And Midnight would confront the sly fox leader, Fang. As the night deepened, their plan unfolded. First, Luna streaked out, zipping between the shadows cast by the buildings, her bushy tail a blur. The foxes, startled by the sudden commotion, turned toward the sound, their ears pricked. Just as Fang was about to call out, a blur of brown fur landed gracefully on an upturned crate. It was Rusty, blocking their path back to the rooftops. Paws took this chance, dashing across the open space between the buildings, snatching the sacks from the other 2 foxes and racing back to the shadows. Meanwhile, Midnight's heart pounded as he crept closer to Fang. He was almost upon him. The leader snarled, baring his teeth, but Midnight stood his ground, letting out a defiant squeak. Startled by the mouse's bravery, Fang hesitated, then lunged. A fierce battle ensued, tooth and nail, claw and fang. Fang was bigger and stronger, but Midnight was agile and quick. He dodged and weaved, darting around the crates and leaping over the fences, keeping just out of Fang's reach. Panting and frustrated, Fang slipped on a loose cobblestone, giving Midnight the opening he needed. With a final burst of speed, the little mouse snatched Fang's tail, dragging him toward the waiting arms of his friends. Trapped and outnumbered, Fang's bravado faded, replaced by a sheepish expression. He hung his head as the others retrieved what had been stolen. When the warehouses were secured and the stolen goods returned, the 4 friends gathered on a rooftop, the wind ruffling their fur, scales, feathers, and whiskers. The city sprawled beneath them, a tapestry of lights and shadows. "That was amazing," Luna exclaimed, her eyes shining. "We make a great team." Rusty nodded, a sly grin on his face. "We sure do. But it's not over yet. Not by a long shot." He gestured with his paw toward the horizon. "There's still a lot of night left." And as the first rays of dawn began to paint the sky, they raced off into the sunrise, eager for whatever adventures awaited them. Suddenly, the warehouse doors burst open and a burly figure stepped out, rubbing sleep from his eyes. He looked around, confused. The fight, the stolen goods, the mysterious defenders, it had all been a dream. Or was it? As he watched the sun rise, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, he felt a surge of determination. He might not have superpowers or magical abilities, but he had something just as powerful, his wits. He could use his smarts, bravery, and the help of his friends to make a difference in the world. He was just a small mouse with big dreams. But as the sun climbed higher in the sky, he knew that no matter how big the challenge, as long as he had his friends by his side, there was nothing he couldn't do. He was ready to face whatever came next, to be the hero his father had been, not because he was born into greatness, but because he chose to be.